What's going on, guys, and welcome to my Premier League predictions for game week 17. Hope you are all doing well and your predictions are going well. Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday games this week. So a lot of games thick and fast. I love the amount of football at Christmas. Let's get into the predictions, guys. First up, on the Tuesday, we've got Brentford versus Manchester United. Potentially, anyway, I'm hearing it might not go ahead because some players with corona apparently. Yeah, it's just up in the air a little bit of whether the game's happening. I believe it is as it stands, but it's a little bit unsure about that. So Brentford, look, if Manchester United play like we did against Norwich the other day, I think we'll be lucky to get a draw out of this game. Brentford's probably the toughest place to go in the league, and their fans, the way they get behind them, and it's hard. It's very hard. And I feel like if we're going to play like we did against Norwich, we're just going to struggle big time to get anything from the game. I'm going to go for us to nick it, but I'm not necessarily saying we're going to nick it on a good performance. It could be a penalty decision again or a controversial decision, but we have a habit of nicking games even when we're playing terrible. And I've got a feeling we might here, hopefully anyway, because we need the points. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Manchester United, but not looking forward to that game in terms of confidence because Brentford worry me. But I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester United. Second, we got Norwich against Villa. Vital for Norwich at this point to be trying to get even a point from this game. It's going to be tough though because since Gerrard's took over at Villa, he's turned their club around and he's doing a fantastic job with the players he's got. He's not been given millions and millions and millions of pounds. He's doing fantastic, I think. Like, he's not brought in any players of his own yet. So when he does, surely they're going to be doing even better than they are. So I'm happy for him. I've always liked Gerrard, and I feel that they get a result in this one again, even though it's at Norwich. I'm going to go 2-1 to Aston Villa. Next up, we've got Man City versus Leeds. Leeds were a lot better against Chelsea than I was expecting them to be, considering they've got Bamford out. They played James up top for that game, and I thought this isn't going to work. You need him on the wing. And they nearly got something from the game. They played very well. They fought until the final whistle. And they were a little bit unlucky, I felt. So when they want to, they can turn up. But it's Man City. It's at home. I think City are going to have too much quality, and the fact that they keep the ball so well, I feel like that's going to play a major part in it. I'm going to go 3-0 Man City. It might be a little bit too many goals there for City. Maybe they get a 1-0 or a 2-0. I'm going to go 3-0 though to Man City. Next up, we got Brighton versus Wolves. Tough one to call. Can I just say, some of the decisions as well recently on like Match of the Day and like when they're looking at it, from the referees in the VAR is absolutely shocking. There's been several this week that I felt that they've got the majority of them wrong. And that Jimenez, the 2 yellow cards, the first one isn't a yellow card at all. You could maybe give him a free kick, give the other player a free kick, but it's not a yellow card. It's really not. So I think, and that's not the only decision this last game week that's happened. And VAR was meant to be brought in to make the game clearer and clear things up, basically, and make it a black and white answer. And I think it's just complicated it more than before we had VAR. So I think it's embarrassing what's going on at the moment with the referees and the VAR. Jimenez, I think, now will be banned at least one game, so he's going to be missing. Brighton not performing as well as they have been. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go a 1-1. I think they cancel each other out. If not, I think Brighton might shade it, but I'm going to go 1-1. Next up, we've got Burnley versus Watford. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Watford win. I feel like Burnley, they struggle for goals. They're hard to score against and they don't concede a lot, but I think that Watford will find a winner, and I'm going to go 1-0 to Watford. Palace versus Southampton. Conor Gallagher, that last goal he scored against Everton the other night, fantastic. The reaction, the ability. He's a quality player, and it's nice to see because he's positive, he's a breath of fresh air, and it's exactly what Palace need. Southampton struggling a bit recently, not scoring enough. Just performance-wise, they're just not really getting to the level, I don't think, that they need to be getting results at the moment. So they are struggling. But I have a feeling that they're going to get something from this game. So I'm going to go a 1-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if Palace get another 3 points. But I'm going to go 1-1. Next up, we got Arsenal versus West Ham. Tough one to call, because I feel like West Ham are one of the best teams in the league at the moment. Died off a little bit recently. The goals are drying up a little bit for them. Antonio hasn't scored in about 7 or 8 games now, which is not helping. The goals have dried up for Souček as well. Rice is not getting a lot. But Arsenal are struggling a little bit at the moment as well. So I think it's going to be a close one, decided by 1 goal if anything happens. I'm going to go with 2-1 win for West Ham. It's at Arsenal, but I feel like West Ham might nick it. So I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. Leicester versus Tottenham. Leicester just putting 4 past Newcastle without Vardy as well. Tottenham, they can score goals, but they don't score a lot for the players they do have in that squad. They play boring football, not fast enough in my opinion, very boring. They might run a lot and cover a lot of ground, but they're one of the worst teams, if not the worst, to watch in the league for me when you come to watch a game as a neutral. I hate watching them. And I think Leicester will have a little bit too much for them. So I'm going to go Leicester at 1-0. Chelsea versus Everton. I see this being a foregone conclusion for Chelsea, to be honest. Everton are in deep trouble right now, which is a shame because I like Benitez, but he's definitely struggling there. Richarlison coming off against Palace. How he did, stropping, sulking. It's not a good look, and they're already struggling as it is anyway, and I feel like he's one of their main threats, especially with Calvert-Lewin out. He is their most natural goal scorer. So it's a big problem. If he's falling out now with Benitez, it's going to make things even worse for them, and I just think it's a very bad time for Everton. So I see nothing else but 3 points for Chelsea in this, and I'm going to go 3-0. And then lastly, for the predictions, these week games this week, Liverpool versus Newcastle. I think Newcastle will be lucky to get a draw, and I don't see them getting that either. The way they played against Leicester, I picked Leicester to beat them, but I went 2-1, and it was 4-0, so it was a lot worse than I predicted. They are struggling. I've said that I fancy them to stay up and not get relegated, but watching that game against Leicester, I'm not so sure now. I think they are going to struggle to get out of that bottom 3 currently. And Liverpool is not the team to be. I just can't see them getting anything from that game, and it's at Anfield. So I feel sorry for them because they're a good set of fans, Newcastle, and I want them to do well. Obviously, they got all this money now, but the trouble is they're not going to attract players wanting to come in when they're sitting rock bottom of the table. If they get relegated as well to the Championship, they're going to have that money still, but it's going to be hard to attract them players that you need and that quality you need because they're not going to want to come to that league because it's not already in the Premier League. So it's going to be interesting. But I don't see anything other than 3 points for Liverpool. And I'm going to go 4-0 Liverpool. So that is it for this week's predictions, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the football this week. And yeah, lots of football over the Christmas period. I love it. I hope you're enjoying it too. I hope you're enjoying the content as well, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It helps a lot. And I'll speak to you guys soon.